Name an SUV that's a size of a school bus, has 500 horsepower, Whipple tuned, legal in 50 states, and still gets 22 to 23 miles per gallon. I'll wait. So there's a frog chilling on the wiper, and I just got new spark plugs. Yo, I got a misfire right away. Why? So it's been over a year since I rebuilt this 2018 Ford Expedition. We bought this thing, it had 36,000 miles on it, and now it has almost 68, well, it's 67,300 miles. And when I rebuilt it, if you want to watch some of my videos from before, when I lifted the cab, this thing was wrecked in the front passenger side pretty hard that the wheel went into the firewall, and the frame was so messed up that when I lifted the cab off the frame, the front right tire lifted off the ground about 3 inches. So the frame was twisted and bent, and this was when the COVID stuff started, and I couldn't find a frame or a front clip for this thing. So this thing cost me a lot because most of the parts I ended up getting at the dealer. But why I'm making this video is because when I was fixing this, I went ahead and bought the Whipple EcoBoost upgrade for these 3.5 EcoBoost Expeditions, F-150s, Raptor. It's all the same upgrade. The only thing that's different is the tune. So why I'm making this video is because I was going on a trip. We put 32,000 miles on this vehicle since the Whipple upgrade, and when I was trying to pass somebody on the way to vacation, I was trying to pass somebody and I pushed it to the floor. The check engine light started blinking. When the check engine light starts blinking, that's a sign of a misfire. So, I mean, it's still safe to drive the vehicle, in my opinion, because, I mean, it's just like a sign like, hey, I would like new spark plugs. Whipple, I believe, recommends changing the spark plugs every 25,000 miles. Why? Because they get re-gapped. You gap it to, I believe, 0.028 instead of whatever the OEM spec is on these. I think it's probably 0.045 or something like that, 48. So, you know, the gap is so small, and, you know, the spark, I guess, just kills the plugs more often than on the OEM. And obviously you have 500 horsepower instead of 375. So the only issues I really had with this car in this whole time is the airbag light started coming on every other day, because when I rebuilt it, I got the SRS module. I sent it off to an airbag company, and they reset the module. Whatever they do to them, I'm not sure if they take them apart or just reprogram. Pretty sure they have to solder something in because it was a crash code due to all the airbags being blown. And so recently it just started coming on, like, I forget what the code is, but it's something to do with the module not having the proper file or something. So I don't know if this is just like something that happens after a year when you get the SRS module rebuilt. But anyway, that's the only issues I've had with this car. And this thing was taken apart to nothing. Like, engine, transmission was out, the whole interior was out. It was a lot of work was done. So check out some of my videos on this rebuild, and I'll probably have like a link in the description or something for one of the videos on this rebuild. But I'm about to go home and get some spark plugs, re-gap them, and change them. So stay tuned, and we'll see what the spark plugs look like after 32,000 miles of, I don't want to say rough driving, because I don't really know how my wife drives. I know she's not like a slow driver, so, but when I drive it, I send it, you know, like right now. And see, like right then, it didn't trigger any kind of misfire. So I know it's not going to be the coil or anything like that. I believe it's just the spark plug is just tired, you know, from 32,000 miles of sparking. So let's get some spark plugs. And I am going with OEM Motorcraft brand. I'm just going to re-gap them to 0.028, and I'll double check that in the manual for Whipple. And, you know, there's a reason why they recommend changing spark plugs every 25,000 miles. so stay tuned. By the way, if you are interested in any kind of Whipple upgrades, whether it's a supercharger for your Mustang or a Whipple EcoBoost upgrade for Expedition, F-150, or Explorers, anything, not even a Ford, like if it's a Chevy or, you know, a Dodge, whatever Whipple upgrades they offer, we can install them. We're a Whipple supercharger dealer here in Arden, North Carolina, and I'll have the website on the screen right now and a link in the description. So if you're in the area and you happen to purchase just a Whipple upgrade or something and you're looking for somebody to install it, we can install your upgrades because we are certified by Whipple and we are a Whipple dealer in North Carolina. So check us out, and we can get you some deals on some superchargers and upgrades as well. If you're looking to order, just hit us up and we'll get you ordered. All right, so I made it back to the shop, and I just double checked on the Whipple website on the installation manual that the gaps on the spark plugs need to be at 0.025, and those are pre-gapped to 0.031. It's not a big difference, I guess, but it needs to be done. So I've got the gapping tool here. I'm gonna pre-gap them and quickly do this. It's getting late and I gotta leave early. I'm also gonna check the filter. I want to see what that thing looks like after 32,000 miles. So let me go ahead and pull the plugs. We'll check them out, see what they look like. I did have a misfire, like I mentioned earlier, on cylinder 1, and I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 1 is going to be here. And pull this cover off. Super dusty under here. I don't know why. I think I washed it recently when I did the oil change, but it just gets dirty quick. So let me get to work. Actually doesn't look bad at all. That's weird. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 doesn't look bad. I mean, it just looks like normal wear for 30,000 miles. Nothing more. The good news is they all look good. Better news, they're gonna be brand new. So, brand new, gap to 0.025. I always like to hand tighten them, and yeah, I didn't put any anti-seize because this is my vehicle and I never have problems pulling the plugs out. I don't know why people do that, especially that I have to change them every 25 to 30,000 miles, I guess. And also, look, I'm not using a torque wrench. Comment below how you feel about that. As you can see, it's super easy to change spark plugs on these 3.5 engines. All you gotta remove is the 2 nuts that hold the engine cover, which is made out of foam. That's what it looks like. And then you just remove the 8mm bolts that hold down the coils. And I didn't even have to unplug the coils, which is nice. So they all went into the same place. I got 3 of these swapped out. I just got to do 3 more here, and they're also easy to get to. On this one, I like to remove this hose, which is one clip away of just setting it aside just to pull the coil out. And again, I just let them hang, and I just checked gaps on these plugs I pulled, and they all look good. They're all at 0.025. These plugs look good for the mileage, but it's so easy to change on these 3.5s, like I said, that it doesn't hurt to do it. And especially when the vehicle is tuned, you want to make sure that your spark and your fuel is all good. I'm starting to think that it wasn't a misfire due to the plug. It might have been bad gas, maybe, because that actually happened after we filled up at a truck stop. And sometimes you just get some bad fuel, and that's it, because I wasn't able to trigger it again after that, after the next fill up. But still changing the plugs just for safety reasons. It was like 60 bucks in plugs or so, something like that, and you know, 10 minutes of work. It's no big deal. Change your plugs. So all the plugs look good. So this gapping tool that I got, it's just off Amazon. I think it's like 10-15 bucks. Super cool. It's a aluminum piece. It fits any spark plug. You just drop it in. These are the old plugs that I just removed from this vehicle here, 2018 Ford Expedition. And you just I don't really like this measuring tool. This is all I could find at the moment, so I had to use that. But they make different tools to measure, but this is just super cool and easy to adjust the gap. I know some people just kind of hit it on something or put it in the vice grips, and that works too, but this is just a cool tool to have. It's tiny and it's cheap, and you know, if you're gapping plugs all the time, get this tool. Recommend. I gotta go wash my hands. Peace. Alright, so I'm gonna check the filter. Very easy. You just remove the 6 bolts around, just like OEM, I guess, or close to it, and I loosen the clamp here so the cover comes off. And these already come pre-assembled, pretty sure, with the filter in and everything, so the box already comes assembled. So I don't think this has ever been open since installation 1 year ago. So, oh man. Oh wow, I'm glad I'm checking this. I don't know if you can see on video, but yeah, it's pretty stuffed up. I'm just gonna blow air through it for now. I don't have the right stuff to properly clean this, and I don't have the time, so I'm gonna blow air through it and possibly just order another filter to have. And then when I clean this one, I can just let it dry while I install the other one. Actually, this thing cleaned up really nice with just blowing compressed air through it. It looks brand new, and you can actually see through it again. Look at that. Yep. So no need to order another filter. They clean up really nice, good quality. I'm gonna wipe this box in here because it's got dust in it, just so it doesn't suck up the dust right away, and reassemble this, check codes, and go from there. So there it is, all 6 plugs are in, the cover's back on, the nuts are tight, so the cover's not going anywhere. I need to wash this engine bay again because I like to keep it clean. I don't know where this dust keeps coming from. Got this clamp tightened, got all 6 bolts on the airbox tightened. With these gas prices these days, everyone needs to check their spark plugs and filters, because things like that will decrease your MPG and you don't want that. So feedback on the Whipple EcoBoost upgrade on the 3.5 F-150 Raptor or Expedition. I really recommend it because it keeps the temperatures down at all times, and you know, that's what you want, is cool temps in the engine. Engine will last longer whether you're drag racing or just driving it normal. You know, you want this upgrade, and it's affordable. You're basically buying an air intake with a bigger intercooler, and also comes with a scan tool, which is a programming tool, but you can use it as a scan tool, which right now I'm gonna check codes with it. I want to make sure that there's no codes. Diagnostics, diagnostic codes, read DTCs. So the only code I have is the P05AE. I think this is the one for the shutters, because shutters, someone backed into the bumper, and the reinforcement behind this cover actually went into the shutter, so the shutter is always open fully, which is nice. I don't care. I wish I could just delete them completely, but I gotta remove the cover, fix this little guy here, and replace that reinforcement. It's actually held by like 4 bolts, but that's why I have that code. So like I said, it was possibly just bad fuel that I got at that truck stop on the way to the beach, and because that Misfire code never came back. But you know, 32,000 miles later, I got new plugs and cleaned up the filter. This thing will probably need the oil change again soon, but my wife drives this thing so much that miles rack up, and I mean, it's a solid vehicle. Besides that rattle, this is a 2018, so it has that cam phaser rattle, and it's super annoying in the morning on a cold start, but it's been rattling since we got the car at 36,000 miles. I know there's a recall. This one is salvage because it was destroyed on this side. If you watch some of my older videos, this thing was fully rebuilt. It was smashed. This wheel was inside the vehicle basically. So if you watch those videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. This thing should have been just scrapped, but I ended up saving it, and I love it. It's the max limited or whatever, so it's the longest one they make. Put some spacers on, 1.5 inches, kind of looks better, I guess. Eventually I want to get some nice wheels for this, but yeah, it's a really good vehicle. Eventually I am gonna upgrade the cam phasers. By upgrade I mean just get the updated part and replace them. It's a pretty big job. You gotta drain all the fluids, and you gotta get into there, take the cover off. So and then I think there's a few special tools required. So I know there's a recall, and I could probably take it in and get it done, but this being a salvage and everything is Loctite, I don't want the dealer to lift the cab, because when I assembled this, I assembled it to where the cab should not come off. So that being said, I'm gonna do it myself, and I am gonna do it through the engine bay. I'm not lifting the cab. I'm gonna do it through here. So stay tuned for that video. It's gonna come up soon. The more the rattle annoys me, the sooner the video will come out, I guess. So stay tuned, like and subscribe. Later. Also, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, because I Godzilla swapped, 7.3 Godzilla swapped this 2009 Crown Vic, and it runs and drives, and it runs and drives on the stock PCM with original transmission. Everything is going to work in this car. So like and subscribe, and check out these videos on this build. So there's a frog chilling on the wiper, and I just got new spark plugs, so I'm going to be doing a full sand. Watch the frog disappear. am I misfiring now? Is it the coil? Dang it. So last night I replaced all spark plugs, and because I had a misfire once on cylinder number 1, and I figured they're way past due, and I get out there, and as you can see in the previous clip, that I triggered a cylinder number 4 misfire. So this morning I pulled the plug out from cylinder number 4, and I just went and exchanged it because I'm not sure if it was cracked from the packaging or someone dropped it before or something. There was a crack in it. It's possible that it happened when I was installing it. I was in a rush to get it done, and a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, it's because you didn't use a torque wrench. No, it cracked the white part. So yeah, that's never happened before, so I'm assuming that it was just dropped at some point at the parts store or something. But good news is they exchanged it under warranty, and I'm about to throw it in, and we should be good to go. No more codes. Faulty spark plug or broken. Last time on the Bigzilla I had a faulty O2 sensor. Now I have a faulty spark plug. What's next? Yo, this thing hits different now. Runs awesome. No more misfire, and I feel an improvement for sure. Definitely change your spark plugs in time, especially if your car is tuned. Make sure the gaps are set right, and all good. I'm gonna swing by and get some Shell gasoline at this time because I think it was the bad fuel that we got on the way to the beach at some random truck stop. So like and subscribe, and later.